Ooh, biggest Kansas City indoor car show.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Craving Cars Live. My name is Chris Rook.
I am Corey Pratt.
Well, welcome, Corey.
Welcome to our first ever Craving Cars Live show, episode 1.
Yep, it is. I'm excited. You know, we worked hard on all of this, actually, so.
This had a long time coming, and we had talked about it for months.
Quite a while, actually.
Yeah, for quite a while. And actually, all upcoming on this episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. What are some of our Craving Cars live goals? Some of the things that we were going to talk about a little bit more. There was an awesome show this last weekend, World of Wheels. We're going to bring that up. We're going to talk about our mobile studio and what's going to be happening next, all coming up on this episode. So please stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yes. Keep watching. But first on the list, Mr. Ruck.
Yes. Let's just jump into it, right? We knew this is our first time. We're kind of ad-libbing it, freestyling it till we get everything ironed out, which is why we didn't bring guests on tonight.
Nope. Today's just you and I, no guests tonight, but that's not what the future is going to look like, is it?
It is not.
I think we're completely booked through with guests all the way to next week.
Well, actually, till May.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so Thursday nights. It's once a week, guys. I'm kidding.
It is. We are actually booked all the way through May now. So, we'll be looking to everybody. Big shout out to everybody that's a big fan of ours. Big fan of Craving Cars, Mod Squad, Kids and Cars, everything we got going on. I mean, man, we have a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on. Whether we get half of it done, if we get half of it done, it'll be very, very exciting year. We have more planned this year of things that we're going to be doing, well, than we ever have with this.
That's true. You know what? But hey, let's start with the scratch, right? We're in our studio. This is our studio D, we call it.
There
right?
you go.
One of 4 studios that we have access to. So, but we are overlooking Power and Light right now, just so you know. So we got cameras sitting outside Power and Light, and it's exciting. Not much going on. I mean, it's kind of a jury day.
Coming to you live from downtown Kansas City.
It was actually so jury that we didn't open up the curtains. So you see everything behind us is closed up because it's just it just didn't look right. It didn't look good. So.
Well, maybe on a better sunny, awesome day
That's true.
We'll have a little more visual there. But in the meantime, the setup is great. I mean, you guys can see what we got going on. It'll be slightly different once we have a guest, of course, because we got to be able to.
Totally different environment for guests. I mean, something. Yeah, it's private.
You guys can guess. Is it going to be Studio A, B, or C?
It'll be kind of like a Google Hangout. Think of it that way, where families can come in, watch the show, all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be cool. So, but I don't want to give too much away, but you'll see it next week. That'll be a good time.
Yep. Now, the whole reason, obviously, Chris, you and I know, but the whole reason for everybody else why we started doing this.
Yep.
And it was kind of the bigger thing was just to try to bring something new to the table. Not podcasting or doing videos is anything new that people aren't doing all over the place, but what we're doing and what we're going to be doing with this all throughout this year is not something that anybody else around here, at the very least, is really doing right now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If they are, haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't want to make it seem like we're special or anything, like we're doing cutting edge stuff. We're
Are you
not.
kidding me? Did you see the size of the bus that I took here? Woo.
It was pretty big.
I
It
almost
wouldn't
ran
fit
into the back door.
It wasn't even big enough. I mean, Sprint Center thought they had a concert going on today. But
No, all kidding. But I mean, we have a lot of plans. Obviously, as things start to unfold more, we will release a lot more of the future stuff. Is there anything you wanted to give out for anything coming up outside of the fact of we're going to have guests?
we are going to have a lot of guests. So what we've reached out to just in this last week, right? I mean, literally, we thought about this last year. We talked about it. We've done rallies together. We've done multiple car shows, not together, but we've been at the same car shows.
Do we need to talk about a little bit of history that people aren't? Because I've had some
We
people
should.
go, "Oh, so you're teaming with," is like they're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
as if I'm teaming up with you as if I just met you. It's like,
Right.
no, we've been doing things for over a year together.
Correct.
Since,
Yeah, we can go
since,
into it.
since 21, really.
We should.
So-
I think so.
So biggest thing, let's see, Chris and I met. I know you're a big part of the Audi Club.
Yep.
As am I. Weirdly enough, without owning an Audi.
Yeah, but it's German. You
but,
do own a
but
Porsche.
I have
so.
3 other German vehicles.
That's right.
One of them's just a rebadged Audi. It goes like this, VW.
Yeah, the VW. Yeah,
that. There we go.
yeah, that one, that thing.
No, or is an Audi a rebadged Volkswagen? I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think everything's well. It depends on the year, right? Because all that just got transferred under Volkswagen.
It is an
within a
MQ.
li-
It is an MQB platform, which is used very widely on Audi and Volkswagen.
You know, we talked about this the other day, actually, and not to just dive into it, but we talked about this where Audi has certain cars, like the RS cars, that aren't Volkswagen specifically built, right? They're designed by the RS group,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and I think those are more bespoke Audi engines and
Correct.
things like that.
Correct.
That are
Which
shared.
is what I own, and you have a design edition Porsche,
Right.
which is not under the Volkswagen umbrella, right? It's kind of
Yeah, like Porsche is as a company, but their sports cars,
Yep.
the 911, the Boxer, the Cayman are bespoke to Porsche. They don't share those
yeah.
with anybody else. My engine, my flat 6 engine isn't, you don't see a flat 6 engine in an Audi or a Volkswagen.
No.
It's only in Porsche. And then the way my parts go, my handling, my transmission, my all that stuff, that is only in the Porsche sports cars. Now, I'm not talking about their SUVs because those are obviously shared with, well, Volkswagen and Audi. When you talk about the Macan and the Cayenne, and
Right.
I'm not sure about the Panamera.
Oh, what's funny
Might
is
have
the
to look into that
Macan
one.
had the same motor that was in the RS5, but it didn't perform well because it was awkward. But that's all right.
Yeah, and then the same the 4-liter V8, same one that's in the Audi.
Yep.
Same one that's in the bigger, Turbo S or whatever.
Yeah.
In the Cayenne, and it's the same one that's in the Lamborghini Urus.
Yep.
So there you
Yep.
go. So it's kind of cool that we have cars that are under this umbrella of all really cool stuff. Even the shared stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
But the fact that ours are kind of more bespoke to that brand, it's I don't know, a little extra special.
That's
maybe.
true. But you know what? Everybody came here because World of Wheels. We just attended,
Yeah, World of
right?
Wheels.
And you brought out an amazing van, right? Which is, what do you want to call it? I mean, I was calling it the storyteller van, but
Well, it is a Storyteller Overland edition. That's the outfitter that built it. It is a Mercedes Sprinter, but I've always called it, since it came out, I was like, welcome to the Craving Cars mobile studio. Because in essence, that's what we're going to be using it as for part of its time, is a studio that we can go live at any event. And that is definitely one of the things I wanted to bring up about future stuff here for Craving Cars Live is we will be going live at actual events.
yeah, for sure. I mean, what was exciting is that we were able to set up literally that day. We set up inside this van, right?
Yep.
Within 30 minutes, we are broadcasting live.
And more than likely we will have a little bit more things down on it because we were just trying it out. Like, hey, how's this
Sure.
going to fit?
Yeah,
How's
yeah.
that going to fit? Oh, let's just look
Yeah.
at this angle. Let's look at this camera angle. And I'm sure we'll have ways to set that up much quicker.
That's sure. I mean, we did 14 minutes is what we published to the audience, but we did multiple tries of just testing or whatever, right? So, but big congrats to you because, you did win the honorable first place van. So why don't you talk about your van just a little bit?
The chassis is a 2021 Sprinter, but as far as the Storyteller build, they count it as a 22. This thing took over a year for us to get it when we ordered this thing. 13 months.
Wow.
For us to get this thing. It was supposed to take 6. Chip shortage, everybody. Chip shortage.
Is that what it was?
That's what it gets
Intel microchips.
It's kind of hard to build a van out when they don't have the van.
That's probably true.
Yeah. So this one here, they pretty much, Storyteller Overland really does a good job. The build quality behind it, the power system that's in this thing, it has 1,000 amp hours of lithium battery pack in here. Solar, it can charge by solar, it can charge by plug-in, it can charge just by driving. It has a secondary alternator to do that, and it charges it very fast compared to other things that I've seen that charge as you drive kind of deal. But it is fully built out. It has nearly a queen-size bed that kind of folds up out of the way if need be.
That's cool.
It's got a shower inside, a shower that you can use for
I took a shower.
outside. It's got the fridge, the sink. It's got 21 gallons of onboard water. And then, of course, we've outfitted a little bit more with additional bumpers, like different, more rugged metal aluminum bumpers with additional lighting.
With a
traction
true
board.
tow hitch.
You can see the traction board that's up top.
Yep.
For hopefully we won't get stuck too many times, but you never know. Might be on a beach somewhere.
You have that front tow hitch too.
We got a couple of those, and then of course the winch, the big fat 12,000.
Yep.
12,000 pound pulling winch, worn winch that's on top of that. So, and we've got some more future stuff that I want to get done with that van. But in the meantime, I mean, they do a great job on the chassis side, on the Sprinter side. I swear they check pretty much every box. It's got everything in it. Some things that I don't care so much about, other things that are great. But one of those things is like, for instance, some of the adaptive stuff, the lane assist. I don't really care about that stuff. I wish it, because some of that's automatically on.
You're big enough, you just push miles away.
You almost gotta I gotta turn them off every time I get in the car. But it also has things, because of that, it has like the 360 camera.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. You couldn't find that on anything shy of a fat luxury S-Class or 7 Series BMW or something of that sort. And now I've got it on a Sprinter van. And when you have a vehicle that big, it's actually kind of nice because you can really park that thing on a dime. So it's a fantastic van. It's a diesel. There will be an additional video that'll have a full kind of walk through,
because it's very cool.
Show people what it's all about.
Very cool inside, for sure.
And actually, there will be a series of other things. It will be a
Rigs and Roast.
It will be the center point of Rigs and Roast. If you guys haven't seen Rigs and Roast, Craving Cars has a lovely little video on that. We did our first Rigs and Roast last October, and we're going to bring that back. So everybody who really enjoyed that, it's basically a cars and coffee for 4x4s and Overlander type of vehicles only. So,
yeah, I thought
anybody can come to see it,
right?
But you're not going to park if you show up.
Yeah. So Toyota Tundras.
Oh yeah,
Forerunners,
Jeeps of all types. We had Land Rovers. Guess what showed up?
Don't say Jeeps. Jeeps are a sore subject with me.
Jeeps.
And I have the Overland version. It's
another Sprinter showed up that was kind of built out. That was cool. We had a couple of Ford Raptors show up, but here's the cool thing. Well, the Broncos, the newest addition to the overlanding 4x4 edition of things.
If they're built right.
But you remember when they introduced the Ford Raptor, the Bronco Raptors?
Ooh, no.
Back in October, they just kind of, I don't even think it had been a month. I hadn't seen one in person anywhere, and 2 of them showed up to that show.
Wow.
2 Bronco Raptors. It was pretty interesting. And the only time I've ever seen it is in the hands of an automotive journalist on YouTube. And I had to, because they had some closed off stage things that Ford was letting them, go have fun and things like that. But that's the van, guys. It's really awesome. It's fun.
We do have big plans for it this year.
Plans.
A lot of car shows we're going to be doing, a lot of hosting, broadcasting live, that kind of a thing. So going to work out really well. Kind of what we're doing here in studio, but taking out mobile, which we thought was funny on the last video was, we're in a mobile van trying to do mobile stuff, but we're inside of a garage.
But we're inside a building. Yeah.
Right. So that was funny. But you know what? World of Wheels. Let's get into that.
Yes. World of Wheels. I actually want you to talk about this first because this was your very first year
It was.
of going to World of Wheels, and let us
Yep.
know what was your
First off, I was
what was your impression on
amazed.
this?
I guess I would have been more amazed if I didn't know what it has built up to. But just walking into the space, you can tell it was a legit, amazing car experience. Right? The organizers had it all down. I mean, they had it perfect. So you walk around, you know what you're looking at, you know what areas are designated to car groups, that kind of a thing. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, they had plenty of spots in between cars to, so they didn't put
Correct.
too many in a row that you couldn't see them.
Yep.
You could pretty much get around all of them.
Yep. The award side of it, it was kind of hit or miss for me, to be honest. I mean, I'll be honest with it. It seemed to be, one, you had to go to a different area altogether, pretty much, right?
Yeah, we were kind of lost at first because
Yeah.
as many years I've been there, I've never been to the award ceremony because I didn't actually ever have a vehicle in there.
And that could have been because of as many vehicles they had, they couldn't do it where they normally probably could have. So I'll give them the benefit of that.
The last count, by the way, on that I heard was 714 actually
Yeah.
showed up.
I think the organization, when it comes to making announcements, was a little lacking, right? Where it was, I don't know where to go. You're hearing it from your friends. Oh, they're handing out awards,
Yeah.
and you're going. Where normally you would hear announcements. Oh, we're going here, and then you know where to go. That kind of a thing.
Yep.
So I get it, but I get it. It's a big show. It's a lot of people, moving parts. So I'm not throwing, any shade at them at all, but. That was kind of my thing. And then going through the whole award process, me personally, I think it should be narrowed down. I don't like it when a car show has 75 awards and there's 20 in a certain category. To me, that doesn't make sense. Take the best out of each category and top 5. I don't care what you call it, but do that. Not have 20 of the same trophies going to the same car groups, whatever, right? Just because it's 2 years separated doesn't make sense to me.
They did have some categories that had a lot of different years.
Yeah.
And so they were broke up to 5 or 6 different sections
Yeah.
of years for the same award. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it, right? I mean, it was not going to call anybody out, but I just think it's weird when you have that many cars, that many awards. It's like, well, what's special about it? Because the awards are first, second, third. Doesn't say class, doesn't say anything. It's just first, second, third.
And then you had some of the class awards. I guess there were some that got like
Yep.
an honorable award, even though they didn't win first, second, or third. But I realized that not every class had that. So I thought that was I was confused by that, why some had class awards and some didn't.
But again, I thought it was an amazing show. I think it was well organized. Not throwing shade at them at all. I think it's an amazing show. And props to them for doing what they're doing. So that was my only negative of the show. Other than that, I thought it was hands down very organized, very professional.
Yeah, the awards from start to finish took about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That was a long time.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
However, if there was anything to say, I mean, I don't know how they would do it with that many cars. I don't know how they would do it quicker, or what if they just went out and delivered them. But apparently I heard that had happened. They tried that once, and people were walking around and just, because they weren't by their vehicle, so they would just drop the award off to them, and then someone had like walked off with their award.
Yeah, because I think it's so big without a PA system, right, to make announcements, so everybody's kind of organized on what's going on, right, or a schedule, itinerary, whatever it is. I think it throws the whole day off because you're so wrapped up into everything going on.
Yep.
You kind of lose track of it. I mean, we lost track. I mean, honestly.
You don't realize actually sometimes how much time you spent in certain areas.
Yeah.
I'm there filming a lot of the time I'm there.
Yep.
And next thing I know, I'm like, God, half the day's over. I don't feel like I've hardly done anything, but yet I've filmed a bunch.
So how many years have you been there now?
I've gone there every year since probably 17 or 18. 2017, 2018.
And you yourself
not since
said
I was 17 or 18
well, yeah, that'd be like 1920
ish. 30s. Come on. Now.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. So every year since then. Now, when I went there on opening move-in day, you guys can check that out too. We had a little move-in day video. kind of show you. And by the way, there is a folder World of Wheels.
How about we do that again? Sorry.
If that happened again, we can be like, hey, I remember our first time.
Yeah. It is the the new show. So
That's right. That's right.
that's right. I was trying to get to something, give us a different look, but that's all right.
But move-in day. So a couple days before the show, they have the move-in day, right? People got to get in, get the car show. And I noticed when I was getting there, I was like, wow, there sure is a heck of a lot of cars here, because I've been part of the move-in day for the last at least 3 years.
Right.
And I'm either helping someone pull a car in, maybe I'm the support car bringing all the stuff and then driving everybody back. But either way, we're pulling in and I'm helping them set up, and we're getting out of there. And when I just noticed, I'm like, there sure seems to be a whole lot more cars here than I remember for the first day, because there's 2 days of move-in day.
Yeah.
And then that's when I heard they're like, yeah, they're actually having a hard time finding spots for cars because everything's sold. I'm like, I wonder how many spots they have in here. And they said over 700. And I'm like, I'm not even sure how many cars there were last year, but they announced it during the awards that there was 200 more cars this year than there was last year. That's a lot. That's a huge jump up for, I mean, it's not like it's a 20,000 car show. Oh, we had 200 more cars. You don't even notice that.
Right. Right.
But it was a huge noticeability when you've got, what, 40% more cars than the year before.
Yep.
And so that was amazing. And I know you do see a lot of the same cars.
You know what was weird,
but I see a lot of new stuff too.
And I thought, actually, because I saw your video from 2022, right? I watched it.
It was amazing.
A lot of those cars, they weren't there.
Yeah, there's those few that will come every year, or you'll see one and now it's different. It might be the same car, but they finished it, or they did something different with it, or they repainted it, or something of that sort, or new wheels. I don't know. You have those like showstopper kind of cars.
Yep.
That tend to show up all the time to these pristine of type of shows like this. But then there's plenty of other stuff.
Yep.
That there is there, and tons of vendors there. Matter of fact, we've got one vendor that's going to see us
soon.
And there's another one.
Actually, we got a couple vendors that are going to see us.
Yeah, we got a couple. That
next week. I mean, we can call them out. Jason's going to be here from We Are Warriors.
Yep.
So that's awesome. He'll be here next weekend or next Thursday. So.
Next week. Yep.
Yep, that'll be awesome. And we'll be in a new studio, right? Because we always change it. So
and there is what we're going to also try to do a little bit of is a little product review here and there. If anybody's got something that they think that would be cool for us to kind of take a look at and see.
Post your comments for sure.
Yeah, let us know in the comments anywhere, whether it's now or you just so happened you couldn't make the live show, so you got to watch the recorded version, and you can't participate
or next week,
in the chats,
whatever it is,
and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to try to go over some stuff. You know, if it's something that's kind of up our alley.
So let's talk about where we're going with Craving Cars Live, right? What's our goal? What's our plan, right? Me and you've been friends for a while. We kind of hit on it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but
we've been friends since 21.
Yesterday,
we kind of started doing some rallies together.
We did.
We were hanging out a little bit in some Audi group stuff and some other just
hanging in the same
stuff.
cars.
And then 22 came by, and then next thing you know, we were doing more rallies together. And this time teaming up as media.
That's true. Red Line Rallies.
Yep,
Big shout out.
Rallies.
And actually, Red Line Rallies, while we're talking about it, they got their run going to the Ozarks. So if you haven't signed up, go check them out for sure.
Yeah, they might even have I think they might. I don't know. They may not have any spots left. So
they're posting it now, so I think they're very limited on spots.
Okay.
But if you want to check it out, that's a good run. I mean, it's a great group. So
especially if you've never been down to that Ozark track, that's where they're going.
Yep,
and that's going to be really cool.
Yep, really and cool. We're going there soon. So just to let you know, I know you're blindsided, but no, we already locked it in. We're going there.
All right. Well, there you go. You've heard it here first from Chris Ruck.
That's right. We're already locking things in. So
that's right. But we've got a lot of cool things like that coming up.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, man, actually, I'm starting to think about this. Has it been almost a year that we kind of mentioned doing something like this? Has it been that long? Because I know it was before winter.
You know what? It was 20 it was Redline Rally's second run of their first year. So it was 2021.
It would have been 2021 then.
Yeah, that's when we started talking about it. But
Actually,
so,
that was the first
yeah.
one we actually teamed up with as far as media. Because
Hey, Passad.
the first Redline Rally one, we were both there shooting, but on our own.
That's correct.
On our own thing.
That's correct. Yeah, yeah.
So
We were separated media, kind of doing our own thing.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we have plenty of
Footage, go check that out.
of Redline Rallies out
Yep.
there. Craving
A lot
cars.
of Craven Cars, your stuff that you produced before we got together, right, is on Craven Cars YouTube channel.
Right.
Go check that out for sure. So what do you want to go into next?
Well, I thought World of Wheels was awesome too. I didn't know. I know. I didn't talk a whole lot about it, but you will see.
You did have the Mutt crew there,
you
so
will
we got
see
to
a
give
little
them a
bit out
shout
there.
out because they were there. They really helped us a lot, right? They guarded the van while
Yep.
we were walking around while it was wide open. A lot of gear in there, so big shout to them.
So we got my good friend Stephen Miller. We got my good friend Steve Sturthman. We got my good friend Danny, and we had Alan there. Just kind of a. It's not like we all have the same kind of cars.
Right.
We are all over the place with this. I mean, just to give you an idea, well, Stephen Miller has a '79 Ford Fairmont. He did not have it at the show.
Right.
It's a killer Fairmont. If you guys have followed Craving Cars, you will know which one I'm talking about because that has appeared in the show quite often.
Yep.
But this time he was driving a '89 Mercury wagon.
I like that he had the
And
tailgate
I
down
drove that in one time
with the
last
side by
year.
side bench seats. in the back.
Yes, that was really cool. What do they call those? The rumble seats?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think. that's
No,
what
the
they call it.
rumbles I thought fold out of the back.
That's same difference, right? It folds out of the back, and you sit in them, and it's in the
Yeah,
back.
but it's the side by side kind of cafeteria bench seats.
Let's just say it's only for kids because I couldn't fit in
That's
it.
right. I couldn't either. I took a picture of you in it, but I was the same way.
It was-
I'm not climbing
It
in
was.
it.
I think we both got it, and we just
We
kind of
did.
went. We went. Well, this is.
Yeah, we
How do
tucked
we,
up
now,
pretty
how do we
quick.
get out?
We tucked up pretty quick.
Yeah. We had a Ranchero
Yep.
that he won first in his class, and he was up for a special award. I don't know that he got anything though. We had a neighbor that got like best interior or something like that. I'm wondering if that's
Yeah.
what he was up against because they looked like they were
okay.
looking as interior. So,
Yeah.
anyways, and Danny brought two of his cars. He had his GTO, I believe it was a '71, and he had his '87
IROC.
IROC Z
Yep.
Camaro that he
5.0.
bought brand new in '87. So
Yep.
he's
We
had
covered that in our
that's right. That's
our
right.
ad hoc show.
And Steve Sturthman actually had a different car, but it wasn't there. He has a '63 Studebaker Avanti supercharged.
Yeah.
It was with the Studebaker Club, which it was actually the first time he's actually brought it with the Studebaker Club at the show. Usually he just has it with us, kind of just where everything was out.
Just hanging out.
But man, Steve's got some really cool cars. He's got a '67 442, '69 Buick Skylark. He's got.
He'll be on the show.
He's got quite a few other vehicles. He's got a GTO as
Yeah.
well, and a Mustang. And man, I might be missing something in there, but he's
All
got
those.
cars. He's
All
a car
those.
guy.
A
He's
lot
definitely
more
a car
cars
guy.
than I have. So
He's the one responsible. So I've got some future or some past videos from O'Fallon, Illinois.
you know what? We
from the
talked
City
about
Fest.
this. This is kind of right outside my hometown.
That's right.
Right. My wife is from Mascoutah. I'm from Lebanon, which is 7 miles from O'Fallon. So
Yeah,
we're
next-
in the same
next
neck of
doors.
the woods. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, they have the City Fest. Did you ever go to the City Fest in O'Fallon?
Of course.
Well, they had a car show that was started there a long time ago. It was Steve's dad who started that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I went out there. I've got a few different videos from a few years. The only one I've missed so far since I've known the show was last year. Unfortunately, there was a scheduling conflict, and my wife and I were out of town elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. You were up in the mountains with this nice
we were
van.
down in Eureka Springs in Arkansas. So.
There you go.
And I think it's probably going to happen like that again this year. It's not a huge show, but it's a good show. It doesn't have to be a big show to be a good show.
No, I agree.
They really don't.
You know
And
what? I found
it's
it
a
better
really,
to
really good
be,
show.
small to medium size.
You know, if that happens, I get to spend more time at the cars.
Yeah.
And people get to see more of the cars in
Yeah.
the video for each car. Because when I'm filming 700 cars,
Yep.
I'm sorry, you're not going to either see them all or they're only going to be a few seconds.
Exactly. You know what? And I haven't seen what you shot this whole weekend at World of Wheels, but I saw Wheels videos.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout to him because, geez, I mean, he's a good friend of ours, right?
Yep.
And
We've done a lot of things together.
man, he had 7. Was it 7? I think it was 7 or 8 videos just covering
I know it
World
was
of
at
Wheels.
least 6. I know it was
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
6
yeah.
that
It
I
was.
saw.
That's crazy. I mean,
So-
and he pops in and out pretty quick.
Yeah,
Right.
he's just trying to roll down. He's
Yep.
just trying to show you, like, hey, if this was you and you were going to the show, this
Yep.
is you walk. Let's say you couldn't make it, but you wanted to walk down the aisles of the show.
Correct.
That's what his is kind of
Yep.
like right there.
And he does a great job at it. So Wheels, check him out on YouTube for sure.
Yes, definitely do that. And do we got time for a little product view here?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I've got something I want to show you here.
right, let's see
you
it.
may or may not have seen one of these before.
Let's see it. I'm gonna
This
put your
is-
main camera on, so it's all you right in front of you.
I do feel very apologetic right now because the gentleman who actually is his company, I forgot his card at home.
Uh-oh.
But
we
that's
guessing?
okay.
Ratchet.
Ratchet Wrangler is the product. I
There
have
you
the
go.
product.
There you go.
So this guy, he's out of St. Joe, so he's local. Okay.
Yep.
Local business, local thing, and he started this little guy right here, the Ratchet Wrangler,
Yeah.
the original tie down organizer.
You know, I went by
One size
his
fit
well,
most.
before you get into it. I went by his area, and he strictly admitted, right? It's not about the cars. That's not why. It's about something you need, necessity.
Yep.
Whether it's cars, mechanics, strapping things down, trailers. That's what he was there for. So go
You
ahead.
can
Sorry.
kinda see that right there. Well, what brought this up? What he brought this up to me for was because of the van. So
Yeah.
people in overlanding and off-roaders and things of that sort are always using tie-downs, straps, all kinds of stuff. And if, let's say, you didn't need them normally, you always have as a backup. Everybody
true.
that I've ever been off-roading with in the past, somebody has ratchet straps somewhere in their bag. But the problem is they come out and they're all tangled and they're all crappy.
Yep.
So he created these little guys. They're like a neoprene kind of pouch. And it's basically just designed to organize that strap in there so it doesn't get tangled. You can have this with all of, fill all your straps up with all these, and you put them in your bag, your toolbox, or whatever it is. You throw it in whatever gear pouch you have or bag, or box, I guess.
Yeah,
As far as
yeah.
overlanders go, they're boxes, and you pull them out, and then as you bring this out,
As you bring the hook out.
you got to pull the hook out, and it always comes undone and untangled.
Oh, okay.
So and ideally, so it's not hooked with anything else. There's no knots. It's untangled.
yeah.
And here, let's go to this over here. Here, let me show you over here.
There you go.
So ideally, sorry, I got to talk in the microphone still. This is probably on the verge of being a little big. This is 16 feet. I think most people that they're going to store that.
And I know he has different
16 feet
sizes,
seems to
right?
be. So far, it's just the one size that I saw.
Oh, okay.
So, but
Okay.
most of what gets tangled up, it's the smaller ones. The
Yeah,
big
yeah.
fat ones usually they wrap within each other.
That's correct.
But these just you can't really wrap them without them just completely coming undone. So here's kind of what he showed. Now I will say this is on the verge of being too big. This is probably the biggest. This is like a 1 1/4 inch wide
Right.
and 16 feet. If you did 1 inch and probably 12 or under feet, you would perfect,
Yep.
absolutely perfect. But you literally just take your hand and you do one of these little things. You don't even have to be nice with it. Just wrap it up. Like I said, this is where I think it's getting too long. However, it's going to work for the purpose of this video. Just like so.
Yep.
And then you jam it in the pouch.
You know what? That's exactly how he demoed it, and it worked perfect.
Yeah. And then there is a hole top, so that way this doesn't fall out and start
Yep.
unraveling it. It keeps it in place. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then you throw it in your.
Yep.
your
I thought it was
You throw
genius.
it in your gearbox or
Yep.
whatever it is you do, and then every time you pull your strap out, it's not tangled. That's it.
Did you say your strap out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every time you pull your strap out. Hey, it's better to be strapped.
Well, yeah,
Better than
yeah,
strap out than
exactly,
strap
exactly.
on.
You know
That's
what?
what I
But
say.
you know what? He really demonstrated probably better than you did, but
More likely, he had a much better fitted
I'm sure he practiced.
ratchet strap as well. This is a little verge of being too big. I'm going to
That's
be
probably
honest.
true.
I'm going to be honest, but
That's probably true.
that's the Ratchet Wrangler.
Yep.
Cool little product like that. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing more stuff like that, more
Yeah.
product stuff like that. Whether you think it's going to be oriented towards someone with an overlanding or van type of thing, or just in the car scene alone.
Yep.
Trust me, we can make it in a bigger way where we can show it more often. So if it's something a little bit more intense than just a small. little
Agreed.
thing.
I mean, we thought about it, right? it's like, do we want to do it? Do we not want to do it? Because, I mean, we have other things that we have different environments, and this is kind of our first time doing it, right? So,
so I'm assuming if you just search Ratchet Wrangler.
Ratchet Wrangler.
Yeah, Ratchet Wrangler. I'm sure that'll get you to where you need to go.
Yeah, we'll post it. We'll post it after the video gets
there you go.
reposted.
RatchetWrangler.com, everybody.
Ratchet
and
Wrangler.
We'll have it down in the description.
There you go.
It'll be all right.
There you go.
And the gentleman's name you can get a hold of.
That's true. So you asked me earlier, right? While we're on the subject of
here we
where
go.
we're going. Here
No,
we
I'm
go,
kidding.
right?
Yeah,
I mean, why am I wearing the F1 red line shirt? One, it's F1.
Oh, is that what
weekend.
that is?
It is.
That's an F1 thing?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I knew what it was.
I knew you did.
Red Bull
I knew you
is a
did.
huge team there, and that's why he goes for
Well,
Ferrari.
you know, yeah, they've been doing. I mean, they won the first one back to back. What, first place, second place? So
Who's their driver? Who's their drivers?
Max.
Max who?
Max. This is called Max.
Okay, we'll go Max.
Okay. So anyway,
Maximilian?
World of Wheels.
Yeah.
What else did you learn?
Oh.
Forget F1 because that's a different story.
Yeah, it is. And if you guys are into more F1, then comments below. I tell you what, if you're into Indy cars, that is something I'll definitely be doing because
Yeah.
I believe I'll be going to Indy 500 this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
How about you?
Would that mean I'm coming with you?
Possible.
Well, I hope so.
You may have
Let's
to.
figure out where that goes.
You may have to. Celebrities. You know, they had celebrities there. They actually probably had more celebrities,
Yep.
and they were there more often than I remember any time in the past.
I saw Henry Winkler. I saw
Henry was
Flava Flav.
Flava Flav.
I didn't see anybody else though.
You didn't?
No, well, I was too busy
There's
setting up the studio.
Finnegan was there.
Oh, I saw a picture afterwards, but I didn't see him. so.
Finnegan was there. But the thing is they were kind of there a little bit more often. Like Henry was there like every day.
Yeah,
And was set up doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember that in the past. They were just there for that one day, and that was it.
for maybe an hour or two, and they flew
And then the next
or
day they would
did-
have one other person to
Yeah.
spotlight. It might even only just be a NASCAR driver, or to be a wrestler, or to be something of that sort. But
Yeah,
no, they had all. Well, I'm not saying Henry's or Flava Flav's a car person, but they still have done car oriented things,
yeah,
ish.
maybe.
Especially Finnegan. There you go.
Yeah.
Since
Finnegan for sure.
Since
I
he's
mean,
on Motor
yeah.
Trend.
Yeah, Finnegan for sure. I don't know where Henry Winkler falls into the whole
Back
thing.
in the
but-
old hot rod days and
Well,
drive.
yeah, but he
I don't
was on
know.
a motorcycle.
Yeah, he was. But there was motorcycles that rolled the wheels.
There were.
A lot of them.
There were.
A lot of cool ones.
Oh,
I know
we.
we're not
that
the
baby
biggest in
blue.
motorcycle-
That
oh,
baby
yeah.
blue chopper.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, we
Yeah,
talked about
I already
that.
edited that one out. It's not going to be in the video. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, I didn't like it.
that was really no. You didn't. That's
No, it was really cool. I know we both talked about we're
Yeah.
not the biggest bike person, but
No.
I look at them as art.
they are
There's so much
Yeah, yeah.
detail, and
Yep.
and they're so shiny, and you know how we like shiny things.
shiny things.
The
But
shiny
you know what?
things.
It goes along the same theme as the lowriders, and Real Riders was there.
Yep.
Jay Brock and his crew and other groups were there as well. But oh my gosh,
Some of the detail that goes into some of the metal work, some of the interior work,
The
I
paint.
just the paint work. I look at it, and I go, whoa.
yeah,
I'm not building one. But
no,
that doesn't mean I don't dislike that at all. I can't build anything. I can't build everything, and I can only have so many cars. So
well, yeah, that's true. You got one car garage, so you can have two and rotate them.
right, yeah, that's it.
I got a 3-car garage. I got no cars in them.
Yeah,
So-
that's sad. That's welcome to America.
Right? You got other stuff to throw in there.
Yeah, you get a house thinking, ooh, I got a 2-car garage.
That's
well,
true.
You're not going to get 2 cars in there.
But Real Riders was there.
Yep.
The Cadillacs, man. You know what took me back to what I grew up under with my mom and dad, and they had from when I was 14. Oh my gosh, all the way through high school, they had Cadillacs, Fleetwood Bromes, Brome the Elegance, all of that stuff, and they look really, really cool. So I can admire what they've done, and I know Jay had his dad's Cadillac there that was a tribute to him. Right, he had the pictures and everything around it, and a big shout out to
Yeah, that was
him.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that car is just amazingly just gorgeous. I mean the amount of money and paint, stance, wheels, rims.
I love seeing the battery setups. And then and then you see the pumps, and you see all the detail that goes put into just the system to run.
Yep.
All the switches and all that. I look at that, and I'm usually lost and dumbfounded on how clean it looks. I mean, it's like if someone put, like people spend a lot of money on the stereo system, so there's a lot of that there too, and custom stuff. I feel like it's almost kind of like that. It's on that custom level to where it just looks.
Yeah, especially with car people, when you go into, like me as a car guy, I usually look at body, engine, interior. I don't really care too much about the suspension stuff, but going in that direction is different, and that is just crazy to me how all that works out. So,
well, and that's the thing at a place like World of Will, actually pretty much any car show is, I mean, yeah, you might, when you're driving a car, you're going to judge something on a suspension, but when you're looking at it, you're not even thinking.
Well, we judge it on the stance, right? I mean, normally we judge it, how does it sit while it's riding, that kind of a thing.
It's more of a looks thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, on our own personal cars, it was also, besides looks, it was also a how does it drive thing.
Yep.
Because if it didn't drive good, it could look good, but that wasn't going to work for us because I see us, we do a little less car show, like pristine on the car show side and more of the driving.
That's correct.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, we do more of the
we exercise the cars,
the performance of the
quite
side
often
of the car for sure.
And that was a conversation we kind of talked about too. You got the people that don't understand why people have this awesome car and they show it, but they never drive it. And then there's the people,
And I'm sure everybody has their own argument with it, and I'm sure we'll get flack for it.
And we talked about it. If you haven't seen that, we have a little thing on that. But I mean, just to make that a much shorter thing is that's okay.
Yep.
If you have a car that's that pristine and you go to car shows and you love the fact of sitting there to share your car by showing it off to other people and you love getting awards and trophies and plaques and all that stuff, then that is awesome. You are still bringing something to the car scene.
Correct.
Now, yes, I typically am never going to buy something that way unless I'm going to drive it. So if it's that rare or that low of miles where I don't want to rack it up or I don't want it to get a little ding or I'm afraid to do something, I'm probably not going to drive it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I want to drive everything, which is probably why I won't have like a giant collection.
I don't think I can buy a car, I don't care what it costs, and have it sit in a garage without me touching it.
Yeah,
I don't see it. And I know I've got, I mean, we have friends that have that, right?
Yeah.
But they do break them out once in a blue moon, right? Because you just can't let them sit. They'll go to crap.
Yeah, I think they go to crap more than driving them.
Yeah. I think the more you drive it, keeping everything lubed up, keeping everything flexible,
it's always
whatever
good
it
to
is.
get things lubed up.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of the people that we know do the same thing, but those collectors that have 100+ cars in a stable somewhere, it just I don't see the point. But they probably pay somebody to drive it for them,
or at least pay them to put it on a trailer.
Do something. You got to break it in for sure.
I don't know. Maybe they should just like trailer it to a dyno shop and then drive it on a dyno.
Yeah. That's probably true.
And then just get a couple guys that kind of bounce up and down in it. So the suspension.
So we got 15 minutes. Let's talk about what we're going to do. What's our plan? So we do have sponsors and legit guests. I mean, guests that are running a lot of stuff in the KC car community, right? They either run their own groups. They either have organizations or charities that are looking for an outlet to promote what they're doing, right? So we're giving them that opportunity. So we got a lot of that coming up. Like I said, we're booked up until May, but we are always looking. But let's talk about not only that, a lot of our friends that have been with us for quite a while, like Kids and Cars, Mod Squad, there's so many. I mean, it's where do you want to go with this? Should I keep naming?
I thought you were doing great. I was taking a breather.
Is that what you're on rest break? Okay.
That's right.
But no, I mean, all those people that, like even the businesses, Chicane, even the groups we're part of. I'm part of the Audi group. You're part of other groups, that kind of a thing.
Well, we've got to attend a lot of stuff. And I helped put an event on last year. The Fuel House has been a really good follower. And they've just been a good supporter of cars in general. But then again, that's the Fuel House. That's what they're kind of all about.
And so is KC Auto Museum.
Yep, the KC Automotive Museum. I've covered a lot of stuff from them. They're extremely awesome guys and
Yep.
friendly. They've got their underground stuff, and that's something too. So also, what I want to do besides, well, we've kind of talked about guests, but something I want to mention to everybody out there, listening, watching, all that good stuff is there something particular that you would have an idea of for something you would like to see? Where this is going, where the show is going. Do you have an interest? Do you know somebody that could fit the bill as a guest? Do you have a product that you think would be awesome for us to talk about? Do you have any suggestions? And and something like that. And obviously,
Yep.
definitely leave them in the comments. And we'll, if it's something something we can fit in, we can do.
Yeah.
If you got a certain product that you want to show us,
Yep.
maybe it's a separate thing that we can do. And if it doesn't make it onto our live broadcast, if it's something that needs to be at a different place for us to review it, then we just have to go live elsewhere. Because ideally, that's what we're able to do, is go live
Yep.
wherever we need to go live.
Exactly. And that's what's important for everybody to understand. And it is our first night. I thought it went pretty well. I mean, there's flaws with everything, but I think we're moving in the right
No
direction.
flaws here, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing on my side either while I'm switching all these switches. But I think it's worth noting that we're trying to do something that nothing else is going on in Kansas City that does it. Right? I think there's a lot of negativity, especially around the car scene, that I think positive things help grow anything overweighs the negatives. And I think if you just let the negatives keep doing what they're doing without anything positive, it's just always negative.
Yeah.
So you got to push back. And that's always been my thing, right? So I appreciate it. I mean, I think we got a lot that we can do. I'm excited about 2023 for sure. It'd be nice if I can get my car fixed pretty soon. So
Do you want to mention anything about the car?
no, I don't. No,
None at all?
no, it's a
Okay.
nightmare. So I'll figure it out. But we're figuring it out.
Well, you have a...
What do you want to do? You want me to go into it?
You have stuff that's getting fixed.
I am.
And
I'm going to fix it.
And a lovely paint job.
That's
I
true.
have things that don't need to be fixed, but a crappy paint job.
Maybe we should switch cars. I'll
So if we
switch
put
ya.
the two together,
Well, at least yours is drivable. So
it is.
that's
It
true.
is.
Mine will be
And it
there.
is, and
I'll
it
get there.
does.
That's what we're working on. But we're doing the best we can as a family, and I know you're doing the best you can as a family. We got a lot going on, not only our jobs, our careers, all of that stuff, but also trying to do something great and positive for the community. I think a lot of that will help drive interest into Kansas City car community.
And maybe that's something, I don't know that have we said this way or not, but just so you guys know, this isn't just about Chris and I.
Right.
This is about the community of all this and
That's true.
bringing it out to the world.
That's true. So
and not even necessarily local, because there are some travel events that we'll be attending as well.
that's true.
So,
Yep. So our goal is to promote positive impacts in Kansas
Yep.
City. Anybody doing anything positive in the Kansas City car community, charitable organization. It doesn't have to be built around cars specifically, but if you're interested, reach out to us, and we'll get you on the show at some point. Like I said, we're kind of booked up all the way up until May. So next week, Jason's going to be here. We
Yep,
are
that's gonna be
Warriors.
awesome.
I'm excited about that.
Yep, me too.
My
me too.
gosh, we were with him at World of Wheels. So, man, what an awesome guy.
It really is. And the funny thing is originally when you were telling me about him and about some of the stuff he had,
Yeah,
I didn't realize who he was until I went to go see him.
yeah.
And he was somebody. So when I first bought my Cayman, when I first bought my Porsche Cayman, I didn't have the thing a week, and I was taking off to go to a car rally. And originally I was doing this car rally anyways, but I was going to take my Golf GTI. And then it just so happens during the whole time of when I was booked for that and it's going to go on this, I happened to buy my car.
Right.
I had to fly out on a Wednesday to go get the car. It was in Seattle. So I bought it from a guy from Seattle. We had to be back by Friday night because Saturday we had business going because the kids and I were throwing Dottie, my wife, a birthday party.
Right.
And it was a birthday. or we would have probably taken longer and throughout the weekend or something. So we had to drive back. We spent way too much time. We took an extra 500 miles on our trip to go down the coast of Oregon to go out of the way completely, and it was 120% worth it. But let's just say when it got to the last day, we were like, we have an 18-hour stint that we just need to push it.
Right.
And so we just, luckily we were in the car that did it, I guess. But we had no license plates on the car because we couldn't get a temp tag because we weren't from that state.
Oh.
So I'm like, well, cross your fingers. Got back just fine.
Drive it anyway.
Got back just fine. And we had time Saturday morning. Got back late Friday night. Had time Saturday morning to run down to Joplin. By the way, just guys, that's 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
To go to PHP down there because Matt was doing a show down there and he wanted to see the car. And I'm like, why wait? So went down there, came, to hang out for a little bit, cruised around with a little bit of a group for a little bit, came back so we can make it in time for Dottie's birthday party. And then kind of finally putting the car up after already putting over 2,000 miles on the car. And Wednesday, heading back down to Northwest Arkansas to start a rally. And it was an express rally.
Oh, okay.
And it's the first express rally I had ever gone on at that point. And that's where I met Jason. I know it was a long story there, just to say that's where I met Jason.
Yeah, I met Jason a while ago.
Yeah, he was on that rally, and it's amazing. Even though I haven't been able to attend any other express rallies, which I would love to do. As a matter of fact, we should see if Scott Helson from Express Rally would like to come on sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
But that is one rally that I also loved as well. Just like we really loved the heck out of the Redline rallies. That was another one I really liked a lot.
Yep.
And actually, you take this back. I don't know that I've been on a rally I did not enjoy the heck out of. They've all been fun.
I don't think you can go on a rally and not have fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you've never done a rally, I think we can speak to it, right? I've done it as a driver. I've done it as a passenger. Unless you've done one, you don't know what it's about, but it is worth doing.
Yep. It's now there's some are a little slower paced than others, but
Yep.
most of the ones I've been on are fairly fast paced.
Yeah.
But they're a lot of fun. Some are as simple as you can drive, you get the locations, you hang out, you do what you want. Others, they have certain things booked and scheduled for you to do. But yeah, that was down there, and I want to say I hung out with Jason, and then we found a little group of everybody that we seem to always have been together the whole time. He was one of them.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun. And the fact of this many years later, that was in 2020.
Wow.
This many years later,
So you meet up again.
we do this silly little show, and we're gonna have him as a guest.
That's right.
Because he's
He'll
doing
be
something,
here
he's
next
doing
week.
something new
Yep.
that he was not doing then.
Yep. Completely
And-
different.
Yep.
And
it's
I
very
love the
cool.
cause behind his whole business. So we'll talk more about that next week for
Yep,
sure.
Absolutely will. And if you kind of notice, there's a kind of a theme of causes. We've done a lot of car charity type of things.
Yep. And we've got quite a few to do this year, actually.
There are some that are kind of lining up, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we're going to be busy for sure.
We're gonna be
So,
busy, but
big
that's okay.
shout out
for
to
for a good cause, though.
Yeah, exactly. But big shout out to the wives and the family that help support what we do, right?
Yep.
I think that's important. I mean, it gives us the opportunity to do what we do. So it's worth mentioning. So anyway, are we ready to wrap up?
Hey, I think that was a lot to kind of put together and
in an hour?
shove in everybody's
Should
ear
we look
holes.
at the board? Are we missing something?
No, I don't think we're missing anything.
I don't think we
We're
are
good.
either.
Yeah, like I said, if something
Okay.
you guys like to see, let us in the comments. Appreciate every one of you
Yep.
that kind of joined us tonight, and I'm going to also appreciate every one of you that are going to watch this at another time as well. So,
Exactly. I mean, we weren't expecting much tonight for sure from an audience, but playback's available, cravingcarslive.com. So make sure you check out that website. Be sure to check out Craving Cars YouTube channel for a lot of stuff that Corey's done in the past. And it will keep building. I mean, we're
more
obviously
stuff.
going to be doing different things. I'll be doing a lot of Capture King stuff, and he'll be doing a lot of Craving Cars. But we come together, we're Craving Cars Live. So other than that, you want to close this out?
Yeah, hey, let's do it. Hey, to everything out there, obviously, like this, share this to everybody that you think would pull some enjoyment. Comment.
Are we going to go back and
Subscribe.
forth again?
And like I said, I am Corey Pratt.
I'm Chris Ruck.
And to remember all you cravers out there,
Keep craving.